So here's a sequence that I did that's really worked for me. Start off standing in a nice, tall, relaxed posture, no slumping, and you're going to stretch your arm out to the side. And we're going to work on stretching these flexor tendons here. So we're going to hold each one for about 10 to 15 seconds. That's all you need. Make sure you're breathing softly, breathing deeply. Just really feel the tension release. Now we're going to lift the hand up, curl it up like this. You're going to stretch the other side. Sometimes I like to push my shoulder down just gently, in case it tends to rise up. And then you're going to bend the elbow, almost like you're flexing your guns, feeling that stretch all the way down the arm. And then you can do this, so you relax the hand, relax the wrist at the end. And you're going to repeat it on the other side. God, I needed to do this, I can feel I'm really tight. And then up the other way. Then bend the elbow. And then relax it, relax that wrist down. Oh, feels really good. And then you can do this position here, like an upside down prayer position. Push the wrists together and lift them up without the shoulders hiking up too much. And then the other way. And then I like to go out the front this side. So similar to one to the way out the side, it's just this time we're going to do it out in front of us. And sometimes I also like to almost pull back gently on the tendon here. You can pull back on your fingers as well to get a stronger stretch. And then I'm going to create like a beak. A beak's kind of shaped like this. So I'm cutting my hand, stretching it out, and I'm gently pulling back on my wrist. This one's really good for stretching the other side and stretching the top of the fingers. And you do the other side. Pull back those fingers. Then you create the beak on this side. Pull it along. Give it a shake out. Now I recommend doing this once in the morning, every time before you play, every time you play, after you play, and also once at night as well. It's really important. And also make sure you do this before you do the strengthening exercises, which will be either playing with correct technique or doing what I'm about to show you now. So because I'd spent so many years with such poor posture with my playing, my extensor muscles, these ones here, the ones that I needed to start recruiting in my playing, they wouldn't even turn on. I found it impossible to actually get them activated while I was playing, even after doing all that stretching. So a little exercise that I had to do that really helped me out and could work for you is one that helps to strengthen the extensor muscles. I grabbed a little dumbbell. This is like the handle of a normal dumbbell. So it's got a fair bit of weight to it. And I'd stand sideways, nice and relaxed. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to squeeze. And what this is doing, you can see my arm is now in an extension position, and it's strengthening and switching on the extensor part of my arm, of my forearm. So when I first started doing this, I could really feel the burn. Now I can do, you know, hundreds of these things. Well, maybe not hundreds, but quite a lot. And this really helped to actually activate this part of my arm and get it turned on. And after doing this, you'll feel a really nice feeling in your wrists. They'll be super flexible, and you'll be able to get a lot more extension out of them for when you pick up a stick and you start playing. So that exercise might really help you if you're struggling to try and actually turn on the extensors in the first place. So after doing those stretching and strengthening exercises that I showed you, you're now ready to actually start working on your technique. Something I heard, I've read this several times, or I heard it from physiotherapists and things, that if you've learned a movement dysfunctionally, whether it's walking, drumming, jumping, it takes 10 times the amount of repetitions to be able to fix that movement. So let's say you've done 10,000 dysfunctional hits with your technique before you started getting tendonitis and changing it. You've got to do 100,000 hits with correct technique. And that's quite a lot of hits. So I'm not going to say it's going to take that long, but it requires a lot of patience and a lot of conscious effort while you're playing to change it. And you are going to start slipping back into your poor technique, but that's going to start happening less and less over time. It still happens to me now sometimes if I'm having a particularly tense day or tense gig. So after you've done your exercises, I found the best exercise, very simple one, to learn to not only balance my hands, but learn to feel and play relaxed. It's just unison strokes. That's basically nice and relaxed, open wrist strokes. So I'm gripping the stick almost as light as I physically can. I'm just repeating. You do it slower. And I'm really focusing on the lifting up of the stick, the extension of my wrist. My technique is by no means perfect, but it's got a lot better from doing this exercise more than anything. And I have to do the exercise in front of a mirror as well. If you do an exercise in front of a mirror, it's a good indication of actually seeing what your technique looks like. And if it looks relaxed and you look cool while you're playing, you look good, chances are it's going to be okay. But if you're looking like awkward while you're playing, then it's probably an indication that you need to start changing stuff. So that one exercise alone did wonders for me, just simply playing unison strokes. And really bring your attention to your forearms. You want to try and feel these muscles up here. This is where all the action is, not in the hand, up here. This is what you're looking for as you're playing those strokes. And you should start feeling the burn up here at the top, especially if they're weak. Well, I hope you enjoyed these stretching and strengthening exercises. And if you can keep them up every single day, in the mornings, before you drum, after you drum, before you go to bed, you'll start noticing a big difference real soon. But it does take consistency. Check out my part 3 for some more tips on managing it while you still have to play. Because unfortunately this thing doesn't go away instantly. So you're going to be playing drums while it's still there. So check out part 3.